Good evening. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel. It's like a team of my part series of professional sports teams that didn't win the championship during that season, part 55. Now, I'm going to make the transition and move into this part 55 with the professional sports teams that didn't win the championship during that season, part 55. Now, I'm going to do is make the transition to the NFL teams. I concluded talking about the baseball teams, the 2017 LA Dodgers. Now, I'm going to move into talk about the NFL teams, NFL teams that I saw in my lifetime that could have won the championship but didn't, and break down what happened and what went wrong. So now I'm on the NFL teams now. I'm gonna start with the 1988 Chicago Bears. They definitely qualified because they were 12 and 4. They had a tie for the best record in the league. The Buffalo Bills and the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals and earned home field advantage in the NFC. So the Bears had a chance to win the Super Bowl that year in '88. When you have a tie between Buffalo and Cincinnati for the best record at 12 and 4, you think that they should have won the championship. So they advanced. They first advanced to the Super Bowl as one of the top two seeds for the third straight season. So when you're a Bear fan, you was dealing with obviously the '85 Bears. They were doing their thing, and they had great successful years after that, but they just didn't win. Capture that championship feeling that they had in '85. Obviously, that legendary Bears team in '85. They lost to the eventual champion San Francisco 49ers. I remember that game. It was very, very cold. Jerry Rice had a big catch, ran out the catch. He was known for that. He always had the catch. And in Soldier Field, that's why I wanted to talk about this team, because this is the second time that the 49ers and the Bears had met for a trip to the Super Bowl during that decade. The 49ers had beaten the Bears in '84 in the NFC Championship game on the way to win Super Bowl. I believe it was Super Bowl 19. I believe I think it was Super Bowl 19, and the Bears won Super Bowl 20. Okay, they lost 28-3 to the 49ers in the championship game at home, and take it from there. Jim McMahon was a quarterback. It would be his last season as a star for the Bears. He went to San Diego Chargers at the time. Mike Ditka was named Coach of the Year for the second time in his career. So they had and this team did not have um, Walter Payton. He had retired, I believe, a year before in '87. So now you got new cast of characters. You got Neil Anderson at the running back position, Matt Suhey, Dennis McKinnon at wide receiver, Dennis Gentry at wide receiver, James Thornton. Offensive line was pretty good, something led by Tom Thayer, Hilgenberg, and Van Horn. Now the defense was definitely tough to deal with. Al Harris, Stephen Michael, Dan Hampton, Richard Dent, Ron Rivera, Mike Singletary, Dave Dawson, guys like that. So this team definitely should have won the championship. When you talk about the kind of season that they had and what they could have done. Now they did beat the Eagles in what was known as the Fog Bowl, 20-12. They handled their business. Okay, that's basically it. Self-explanatory. So I'm gonna get into the NFC Championship game between the 49ers and the Bears. The 49ers beat the Bears 28-3. 49ers got up 7-0. Then they got up like 14-3 in the first half. They just dominated this team, the 49ers. And the 49ers wasn't as good as they was in the past years, but they knew how to win. They knew how to get it done. And at that time, when you look at it, the 49ers were kind of like a team that was looked at as soft, finesse. So for them to go into Soldier Field where the chill factor at game time was 26 degrees below zero, and you win in a blowout 28-3 is very, very impressive. I mean, there's no way to slice it. So let's look at the details of this championship game and what went wrong with the Bears in that championship game. Okay, Jerry Rice caught a 61-yard pass. Again, let's get into this. Despite playing in a game time temperature of 17 degrees Fahrenheit, the wind chill of minus 26 Fahrenheit, and wind gusts of 30 miles per hour, the 49ers scored a touchdown in every quarter and gained 406 total yards of offense, while limiting Chicago quarterback Jim Mann to just 121 passing yards with no touchdowns and an interception. Chicago only made it inside the San Francisco 40-yard line twice during the entire NFC Championship game. San Francisco quarterback Joe Montana threw for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns, completing 9 of 15 for 199 yards and two touchdowns in the first half. The first 5 possessions of the game ended in punts. The 49ers faced a 3rd and long from their own 39-yard line. Despite the high winds, Montana was able to throw a long pass to Rice. Despite double coverage from Bears defenders Mike Richardson and Todd Crum, was able to catch the pass and outrun both defenders to a 61-yard touchdown. Then in the second quarter, Jeff Fuller, defensive back of the 49ers, intercepted the pass from McMahon. The team moved for 64 yards on the drive that included Rice's 20-yard catch, Tom Rathman's 12-yard run on 3rd and 10. Montana finished the series with a 27-yard touchdown pass to Rice again, in which he caught a long, low slant pass in stride and scored on touch. Chicago responded with a 25-yard field goal by Kevin Butler, who was the only points that they had, as they lost 23. Defensive back Bessie Jackson covered a fumble from John Taylor, the wide receiver for the 49ers, on the Bears' 18-yard line with 2:45 left in the half. Chicago subsequently advanced to the 49ers' 47, but on 3rd down, cornerback Don Griffin tackled Neil Anderson for a 5-yard loss and a forced punt. So in the 3rd quarter, the 49ers marched 78 yards, including a 17-yard reception by Rice, scored on Montana's 5-yard touchdown pass to tight end John Frank. And San Francisco's final score was a 4-yard touchdown run by Tom Rathman. Now, Jerry Rice had a great game. He had 5 catches for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. Fuller had an interception and 10 tackles, while linebacker Michael Walter had 11. And this was San Francisco's first playoff win on the road since 1970. So it's like at that time it was 18 years since there had been, that team of San Francisco's caliber to go on the road and win on the road in the playoffs. 1970, 18 years at that time, 88. So we gotta go back 18 years. And then there's also the first time an NFC championship team, NFC team won a conference title on the road since 1979. So at that time, home field advantage mattered if you had the home field advantage in the NFC playoffs, especially the championship game. So that's the story, man, on the 88 Bears, the 88 Bears of Chicago, who had a 12-4 record, tied for the best record in the league. The Buffalo Bills and the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals had home field advantage throughout the NFC, but they wasn't able to handle their business and finish the deal and handle their business to do what they had to do to win the championship. They fell short. So that's basically it, man. That concludes the look at this video, part 55 of professional sports teams that didn't win the championship during that season. The 1988 Chicago Bears. Please like, subscribe, comment on this channel the way you can support. This is Rashad Mitchell. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.